Well, it is quite safe to say that Apex is at one of its weirdest and most awkwardest moments ever in its history, with the bugs and glitches that are making the game unplayable at an all-time high, and some new drama we're going to be talking about today with some pro players and also Twitch streamers, and not just the previous bugs, but a brand new bug that was found recently. Make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below for that chance to win the 10,000 Apex coins, and as always, the finalists from last videos down in the comments below. Plenty of news to jump into today. Once again, I want to remind you guys that my 1v1 $2,000 Apex tournament is coming up July 16th on Saturday about 1 p.m. Eastern or so. Make sure to join the Discord if you guys want to get updates on that, and also if you'll leave a like on the pinned comment down below to let me know you're coming. I mean, I'm trying to get an idea about how many people are going to show up, but I don't want to open signups quite yet because a lot of people tend to not show up, and it just makes things rather complicated. So do me a favor, leave a like on the pinned comment if you plan on showing up so I can get a rough estimate number. Like I said, about a $2,000 grand prize, free entry, 1v1 tournament. We may even have some theme-based rounds, maybe like boxing first round or R99 the next round or something like that, so we can spice it up, and that way it's not always about, you know, the Preds just dominating. You know, the higher level players will obviously still have an advantage at the end of the day because it's the way it should be, but at least it does keep something spicy. Also, I wanted to mention here, last couple of videos we have been covering why Respawn is not the same Respawn that they used to be, and basically how it's just all different now. There's no communication. Well, this is another good topic of discussion here. There's been no longer any dev streams or Reddit asking me anything like what is going on. This is what Garrett said on Twitter. You guys remember back in the day they used to do dev streams and basically would take even chat comments like, hey, you guys got any questions about this, any questions about that? We're here to answer those. No more of those existing. Also Reddit AMAs where they would come on there and just answer all the questions, a bunch of the questions anyways, over on Reddit. None of those exist anymore either. Like I said, this is probably coming after the recent discovery of Respawn developer speaking out after he left Respawn for Apex and now on Respawn for Star Wars, saying at the end of the day they found out it was not just worth it to respond to people because all of the backlash that came with that. So unfortunately, that's one of the things that I forgot, that we don't have those dev streams or AMAs anymore, and probably a great feature that we had back in the day that we probably took for granted at the time. Now, you guys know, based off the topic of the video, we're talking about a brand new bug that has basically been discovered here recently, and maybe it's not necessarily a recent bug, but I've never seen this, and a lot of people are seeming to, you know, be brand new to this bug, or at least seeing this bug. Not many people have been talking about this in the past, but unfortunately, last couple of weeks we've been talking about the outrageous amount of game-breaking bugs that are in the game. And like I said before, they're not just bugs that exist like, hey, you know, my skin doesn't show. They're game-breaking bugs, things that really hinder the consistency of the gameplay. You know, hit registration or loba bracelet, you know, tactical not working, or someone else's tactical not working, and the list goes on and on and on. Now, I told you guys in the last video, it seems like things are creeping up towards some type of a strike or protest, and I'm not really sure how successful that could be or will be, but Apex Legends News Alpha Intel seems to be joining in on the frustrations here. This is really good to have extreme exposure like this over on Twitter, and they said this: I don't like to get on the hate trains or bandwagons here, but the issues with hit registration this season really need to be resolved. Here's just one more example, and there are so many more. Thank you also to Contagious for tagging me in this on Twitter. Now, unfortunately, as I scroll through here, I've not really seen any devs respond to any of this, but best believe you had your Apex fans and your YouTubers and Twitch streamers responding to this. iLoot Games jumped in on there. There was a couple other, you know, update accounts on Twitter that jumped in on there. Many people also basically pointing towards the fact of the input lag, and it's been nothing but, hey, we got fixes, we're working on fixes, we know of the issues going on, whatever, just work with us, whatever. And it's still just so long. Like I said before, I'm not worried about the bugs that come into the game because obviously we know bugs are a part of live services games, but it's just the fact that it's been months and weeks for some of these. And although bugs aren't the end of the world, we're talking about game-breaking bugs that are really hindering, like I said, the consistency of the gameplay of Battle Royale, that are stacking on top of each other. At this point, people are starting to probably get frustrated and just leave. Now, alphaINTEL did make a follow-up response to this when someone responded and said best BR, according to a lot of people, by the way, throwing shade at Apex, basically saying it may not be the best Battle Royale out on the market currently. And they responded saying this doesn't change the game itself being fundamentally amazing. We wouldn't all be out playing for 3 years if that was the case. Well, the networking issues are definitely a problem, no doubt. Brings me to the fact of that server update we had, I think, back in season 6, and they, you know, basically responded and said, hey, we've worked on some servers, here's what's going on, we're actually doing really good, and the servers are actually really healthy, and they're actually doing amazing. Here's why we don't actually want to upgrade them too much. And they even had at one point where they were saying that Apex is a little bit more stable or has some advantages being on 20 hertz rather than being on like a 60 hertz server, and that's why they didn't want to just throw some more money in there and upgrade the servers because, you know, a part of it is actually beneficial. I just thought that was complete bullcrap, honestly. I mean, if that was the case, Fortnite would have never upgraded themselves, right? They would have just stayed and say, hey, you know, let's just stay on these bad servers because, you know, they're better. Well, on top of all of these game-breaking bugs, it seems to be a new bug that I've not been aware of coming from Re-Aiming over on Twitter. 78K, I guess, on Twitch. This is what he said: my buttons are all maybe registered half of the time, works randomly whenever the game decides to, but the single fire R301 is showing what I'm talking about. You've got to fix this, please, Apex Legends. And as he shows here, this is his nice trigger finger on the R301. It seems like half of these shots are not even registering. Like, it's so weird. Sometimes they work so well, the other times they don't work at all. It feels like we're really playing like some scuffed version of a knockoff Grand Theft Auto at the bottom of the barrel at GameStop pre-owned in 2011. Like, instead of Grand Theft Auto, we're playing Grand Theft Auto. I mean, it's 2022. You would think, you know, at this time all these games work so phenomenally well. Everything is very up to date. Back in the day, they talked about crazy innovation when it comes to gaming, and it feels like we are not experiencing crazy innovation compared to the old days when things just simply worked a little bit better. I don't know, but I'm hoping in the next few years maybe we find a way to stable this gameplay out and maybe make some progression. So if you guys have not seen this clip of the R301, I'll roll it for you. Let me know what you think and if you've experienced this yourself. I got a feeling a lot of you in the comments are going to watch that and be like, oh dude, now I realize why my flatline started to shoot slow for no reason. Or bro, I thought my trigger finger, maybe it just started to suck in the game and that's why it was doing this, and now this all makes sense. Nonetheless, very frustrating bug as always. Another bug that's always frustrating is the drama bug that constantly seems to find its way in the community. This was coming from ImperialHal and Diego and Faith, his girlfriend, which pretty sure they're not together anymore. I don't know the entire story. However, apparently the word on the street is that ImperialHal was accusing Faith and Diego of view botting, and then after this, you know, obviously a lot broke out. I think Diego went live and started talking about it. ImperialHal eventually made a public apology and said, at Faith and Diego, I want to publicly apologize to the both of you due to me bringing it publicly and creating this chaos. I should have kept it private all along, no matter who was in the right or the wrong, and I am sorry. A lot of people also commented on this and was basically saying, you know, W tweet from ImperialHal, way to stand up and be the bigger guy. Now, I've actually been out of town for the last day or two, so I came back to all of this, and I'm really not sure where all of this is even coming from. I also got tagged in a tweet talking about JMeyels. Apparently, JMeyels was called out by somebody, and they were basically saying that, you know, he's using all this other stuff to bait for his content views. I just thought this was crazy. I'm not sure where this is coming from, and he got a lot of support on this, and I just don't know who's calling out, who's making accusations. I've not really heard of anything, but a lot of people backed him up on this. The whole situation is honestly confusing, and because I was obviously out of town for a couple of days, I'm gonna look more into it and let you guys know exactly what was going on behind the scenes. JMeyels, also a good friend of mine, so I'll be surprised if there's ever a time in Apex Legends where we're not completely bug free, completely glitch free, completely drama free. There's always something going on in the community that makes our casual heads spin in circles. I see the comments all the time saying, I'm just sick of the pros complaining, I'm sick of this. It's always going to be something. The pros are complaining about something, the casuals are complaining about something, somebody's getting into a fight on or a feud on Twitter or Twitch, and if it's not that, it's, I mean, ALGS or a rule book saying this or something going on. Just another typical day in the Apex community. Make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below for the chance to win that Valk heirloom. Psych, that's over with. 10,000 Apex coins, that is. I'll see you all in the next one, and have a great rest of your day. Until the next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you later, Gators.